Welcome, Leo, to your mid-month love reading for April to May. This reading spans the next 4 to 8 weeks, depending on your situation. It's different for all people. Now, this is a general reading, so take what resonates for you and just let what doesn't go. Now, this month, I'm seeing for you, Leos, some quite tumultuous energy. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it is negative, but you have the Tower as your overall energy for the next few weeks. Now, the Tower is a card of things that suddenly seem to change. Energy that does bring about a shift that perhaps you weren't expecting. Now, people often see this as a negative card. It can be a sudden breakup for some, but in this instance, I'm feeling that this is quite positive for you. It's almost like over the next 4 weeks, there's something within you that is really feeling like you need a change. And it's almost like for some of you the writing is on the wall and you already know what is required, what's coming in your unconscious, but you know that this upheaval is necessary. Now, an upheaval can be something like the birth of a child. That can create an upheaval in your relationship. Falling pregnant. It can be you getting a job and having to move. It can be lots of things that that seem quite earth-shattering at the time, but don't necessarily have to be negative. But what the energy of the Tower does talk about, it's a lot of you are, as I mentioned, feeling this need for a change, wanting a change. Things haven't been perhaps going to plan, and you want some stuff to progress. Now, with the Tower card from this particular deck, and this deck is the Lover's Tarot, it's the giant card on the left there. And this card, when the Tower turns up, it can actually talk about anger being an issue for you, and perhaps anger erupting for you over the next 4 weeks. And it's almost like if it hasn't, expect that it could. I feel like this is something that has been festering in you for a while. Or if it hasn't, if you've been harboring this anger and you don't verbalize it and you don't let it out, it can grow to resentment, and it can explode in rage as well. So there's a deep inner need to clear the air at the moment for you in all of your relationships. This can be love, this can be family, this is just platonic relationships. But, being assertive over the next few weeks is quite acceptable behavior, and it's going to result in constructive activity and changes. And if you don't assert yourself, you may become aggressive and unable to think clearly. If you're holding things inside, Leo, it is not going to be healthy for you in the long run. So you really need to accept your own power almost and find an appropriate outlet for it. Now, this card also talks about being swept away in a sense. And it's like the forces of destiny, they can actually throw anything at you. You know, you never know what's going to happen from one day to the next often. And it can throw things in your path. But I feel like this is really going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to bring about a change that perhaps has been holding you back. And I feel like for some of you, the people in your life might actually be astounded when they see the way you react or the way you be assertive about certain things. People who think they know you might be quite shocked when it comes to your reaction to certain things over the next 4 to 6 weeks, or certainly feelings and emotions within relationships over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, for those of you in a new relationship, it could be a relationship that's just begun suddenly and with quite great force. If you aren't in a relationship, this could mean that a new one is coming in, and it is going to be like a surge of adrenaline almost, and it's like you're both going to be feeling the impact of that you've made on one another. And it's like your relationship seems so momentous and important, and it almost life-changing. That is that energy of the Tower. It's like a life-changing event, and it's got a lot of implications for the future. So if a relationship has started, or if you aren't in a relationship yet, I feel like there is going to be one that comes in with such speed and drama and thrill, and it's almost like it's almost like it's just going to throw you at the speed and the intensity of this relationship coming in, and it's almost going to be like you're caught in this furnace of emotion and passion and exquisite tension kind of thing, and it's like you are both fated to live out the implications of this meeting. And this can be quite unsettling, this feeling of, wow, this is such an intense relationship, and it can throw you off balance a little bit. But sometimes the Tower talks about a magnetic attraction, and this could even shatter an existing long-term relationship that you've been in. So for some of you, you could meet someone and it is just kaboom. Wow, this person is someone that you are really attracted to, and it's going to throw your life into a bit of chaos, because what you had expected was a wonderful relationship that was going wonderfully. You might meet someone that really throws you throws a bit of like a curveball into your life, and it's going to be quite powerful and very very earth shattering. Now, the Tower can also talk about compulsive behavior. So it really, and this this compulsive behavior, it's almost like it erupts from beneath, from deep within you, sort of. And this can also be quite powerful and can be throwing a bit of a spanner into an existing relationship here. And it can also talk about a relationship that can be a little bit unstable because of that. It can create an unstable relationship. But, you know, it's still going to be meaningful and still going to be memorable. And just despite the fact that the future might be uncertain. But, excuse me, those of you in a long-term relationship, when the Tower shows up, you know, it can talk about upheavals and shocking revelations and major readjustments, but they're not necessarily negative or damaging. And like I said before, it could be, you know, a sudden career change or moves or just sort of crises of circumstances. And they may force your relationship to change, but in positive ways. And it talks about a period, it can talk about a period of renewal for both of you. So it's quite positive energy despite being disruptive. Now, your final 3 cards from the Psychic Tarot for the Heart deck. Now I draw these are past, present and future. And so your past card is Healing Begins. So I feel for a lot of you have gone through in the past this release and a healing and a feeling of hope, and that has brought you to this place where you were guided towards something better, and in terms of, you know, your dealings with the heart, and new energies kind of were coming through for you, and new people as well. So for those of you that have just commenced a new relationship, I really feel like this person is going to assist you to evaluate your situation and help you to improve it. And even good situations can get better. So whatever you hope and dream for around relationships, you know, you need to be asking yourself those kind of questions. What are you hoping for? What are you dreaming of? And I think you've done that in the past. And I think that you've left that past behind and you are moving in a new direction. And, you know, it's funny, another sign that I did a reading for, and I can't really remember which one it was, had moving on. It could have potentially been Aries, had moving on in the same position. And, you know, so from the past, from this time of healing and a time of letting go of past issues, you are now steadily moving forward to better times and moving on. And really, it's not something that you've been forced to do. This is the change of a cycle, a change from stagnation. And this marries in so well with that Tower card. Things have been going on a certain way for a while, but things are now changing and moving on. And there's this authenticity to your life. It's real. It's where you want to go. And, you know, change is so necessary. And it's a part of the world. It's a part of the natural world. It's a part of all things. Everything has a cycle. And as you grow, your relationships need to grow as well. Or they'll become stagnant. And in a way, I feel that perhaps they were. And so April to May, I'm I'm seeing that this stagnation, and this is for those of you that aren't in a relationship as well, if you have been looking for love, you are, things have become stagnant and you are either changing it up for yourself, getting a new hairdo, changing the way you view love, the way you go about meeting people. You're really growing. And for those of you that are in a relationship, you might really be examining it and seeing if the relationship still feeds your soul. And staying in a relationship because it seems okay and there's no real reason to end it, but you feel like there's something missing, isn't a good situation to be in. So for a few of you, you really might be asking yourself some questions over the next 4 weeks about that, and really making the choice to move on. Because if relationships don't bring you joy and they're not authentic, and they're not feeding your soul, then it could potentially be time for you to walk away. So some of you, again, general reading, some of you may actually be doing this. You might be choosing to walk away. You could meet that person that I was talking about in the Tower card that is just like an explosion, and it's like, wow, this person just has ignited your soul, and it's made you question a lot of stuff and made you question whether you are happy in your current relationship. Not that there was anything wrong with it, you were going along okay, but there's something now that might make you think, this could be time to move on. Now, your final card there for the future energy is clarity of belief, and this would traditionally be the Ace of Swords, and this is a card of communication and transformation. So this is a very big theme for you, Leos, over the next few weeks. Really great potential is around you to define who you are, and who you are at this time in your life, and also to determine what your beliefs are regarding love and commitment. You really asked to discard any sort of outdated ideas that you've got about relationships and how they should work, and what are the proper roles, in inverted commas there should be. Decide what you need and what you're willing to give. These are some really deep questions that are coming up for you over the next 4 weeks. Different relationships are going to require different strategies to be successful. So as I said, general reading, you need to kind of ask yourself the questions, and the answers will be different for all of you. But you need to be flexible and open-minded. And I feel like there's going to be a breath of fresh air that comes into your way of thinking about love and relationships when that Ace of Swords, or when the clarity of belief card comes in. It really is new ideas, new clarity, gentle sort of communication to other people whom you're in a relationship with as well. You might find a different way of communicating and explaining how you'd like to see the relationship change or grow. And, you're going to be able to exchange ideas on how each of you might alter your behavior to make things happen. And you might even act on any new insights that come through for you, and transform your relationships. So that is absolutely a message that is coming through. Transformation, whether single or in a new relationship or existing relationship, there is absolute transformation for you over the next 4 to 8 weeks. I hope that resonated with you, Leo. I always say I try to keep the love readings short and sweet, but they always seem to go on. So I hope that hasn't gone on for too long. If you're interested in a more general reading, check out your my other videos on my channel. They are more of a general overview. So I hope that resonated, and I hope you tune in next month. Bye, Leo.